Hello everybody and welcome to the Win Daily Show right here on Reach TV, brought to you by our friends at WinDailySports.com.
That's right, Matt. We are getting ready for another winning week in the NFL.
That's right. Our experts at WinDailySports.com are using their projection models and their analytics, and we have their DFS picks for this week.
So let's kick it off with the king and quarterbacks.
I'll tell you, quarterback, I'm always going to have a Lamar Jackson lineup, and I'm always going to have a Patrick Mahomes lineup, Jay. But outside of that, I really like Phillip Rivers this week. The guy plays better at home, coming off a bad game. He's always underrated, only $5,800 on DraftKings against a Houston secondary that he's easily picked apart. In his first home game this year, 333 passing yards and a touchdown. Also at the same price on DraftKings, $5,800 for Kyler Murray, who has started off his NFL career with two 300-yard games. And he'll be able to do that again against Carolina. The way they line up, 4 wide receiver sets, all these receivers getting involved. Larry Fitzgerald's playing well, and maybe he'll rush some this week. I like Kyler Murray on DraftKings a lot at $5,800 in Week 3.
Those are two good picks, Scott. I like Josh Allen. He's going against the Cincinnati Bengals this week. He's coming off 2 good weeks. He's a 2-0 captain of his team right now, leading his team. And now he goes for his home opener against these Bengals, and I think he's going to light him up. He's a dual-threat quarterback who gets some rushing yards, some passing yards. I got him as a good value play on both sides this week, Scott. Another guy I like, Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo is going against the Steelers. The Steelers just got lit up by the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson. Jimmy's coming off a big game where he threw for over 300 yards. I think he duplicates that this week.
Interesting takes.
Absolutely. There are always interesting takes on WinDailySports.com. And now I'm curious and interested to hear what the $500,000 man Jason Mezrahi has to say about the running back position.
At running back, this is the week to pay up for Zeke. He finally got his workload kind of raised in the last game. He went over 100 yards. He found the end zone. And I think he's going to do the same thing in Week 3. Game script is going to be in his favor. You got him versus the Miami Dolphins. They're going to be winning by a lot of points coming into the third and fourth quarter. That means a lot of Zeke all in the second half. The second guy I like, if you've been watching the show the past couple of weeks, is Austin Eckler. The guy's getting receptions. The guy's getting a lot of rushing attempts. He's going to be leading the charge here for the Chargers, and I got him going into Week 3, Scott.
Yeah, go against the Dolphins. That's a good strategy. Always, the way it seems early in the year. Running back, I am cooking with Dalvin Cook again. $7,800 on DraftKings. I will pay for it. In the first 2 weeks, the guy has 265 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. And he faces the Raiders this week. The Raiders have actually been pretty good against the run so far, but nobody can contain Dalvin Cook now that he's healthy. And also, I like Chris Carson of the Seattle Seahawks. $5,900 against the Saints team that's going to be out without Drew Brees. Defense going to spend a lot of time on the field. Carson fumbled twice last week. The Seahawks are going to want to get him involved, get him confident again, and he'll do well. He'll probably score more than one, so I'm liking Chris Carson this week.
As always, good information.
And I bet my man, the king, has some great intel on wide receivers.
And wide receiver, Jay, you always talk about stacking. I said I like Phillip Rivers. I'm going to stack him with Keenan Allen, who's $7,000 on DraftKings. And against that Houston secondary, there's no way that they can contain Keenan Allen. He is a must-play for me in DFS this week. And also, if you watched the 49ers game last week, Jay, you saw Deebo Samuel, the rookie, break out with 5 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. And look, somebody's got to step forward in this San Francisco receiving core, and I think Deebo Samuel is the guy. He really has great yardage after the catch ability, and against that Steeler defense, it's going to be spending a lot of time on the field and just got totally torn up the first few weeks. I'm liking Deebo Samuel under $5,000 on DraftKings.
That's a great play, Scott. I like Kenny Gallaudet. Gallaudet is the #1 target for Matthew Stafford. He's the #1 receiver for that offense. He exploded in Week 2 with a touchdown and over 100-yard receiving, and I think he does that again against a suspect Eagles defense. My second wide receiver that I like is Larry Fitzgerald. Steady Larry. He's been a prime target for Kyle Murray. Murray's starting to break out. He's showing what he did in college in the pros now. He's going to be the #1 receiver for the Cardinals going into Week 3, and he's facing the Carolina Panthers now, which have another weak secondary. So let's target Larry Fitzgerald in Week 3 versus these Panthers.
Yeah, and remember, We talked about stacking. I said Kyler Murray. Stack him with Larry Fitzgerald. Sure.
The King's picks always help you take the crown.
Well said, Krista. Now we turn to the jewel of WinDailySports.com. Jason Mezrahi is going to kick us off with picks at tight end.
Now let's lock in Mark Andrews at tight end. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The guys went for 100 yards in both games, caught a touchdown in both games. Now he's facing Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, in an up-tempo game. Vegas got this game at a high total, and Mark Andrews is going to light it up. He's Lamar Jackson's #1 receiving option, and he's going to get another 100 yards. He's going to get in the end zone again, and you want to lock in value at tight end. Don't take a chance at one of these bums that are going to get you 0. Get Mark Andrews and lock in those points.
Yeah.
Scott, what do you think?
And I like Mark Andrews a lot, and seasonally he's become a must-start. A lot of these picks we give you, some of them are not just for DFS, they're for seasonal too. Like I was saying, Kyler Murray, Phillip Rivers up top, especially if you lost Drew Brees, Deebo Samuel, if you lost Michael Gallup or Tyreek Hill, somebody like that. And at tight end, personally, I like George Kittle this week. He's only 5,600 on DraftKings against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a defense that led up 2 tight end touchdowns to Seattle in week 2. And now for defenses, a guy that looks like he could play middle linebacker for the Win Daily football team, Matt Stryker.
Thanks, Scott. I'm going with Occam's razor here. The simplest solution is usually the best one. The Patriots are playing the Jets. I like the Pats D. And the Cowboys are playing the Dolphins. I like Big D's D. I'm paying up for it. Krista, take us home.
Go to WinDailySports.com and sign up for a free account. One lucky member each month will be upgraded to a premium gold account.